everyone, welcome to Girls Game Shelf. Today we're doing a paid preview for Untamed Feral Factions. This game is on Kickstarter right now and details are below this video. In Untamed, you are using 3 different animal factions to fight your opponent on the battlefield, trying to destroy their stronghold, or trying to make them run out of cards first. So let's set up the game. Lay out all the factions on the table in their own little piles. Since this is a preview, I don't have all of the available factions, but this is a great opportunity for me to remind you that none of the artwork, components, anything is final. Next, players will take turns choosing a faction until they both have 3 factions. Each faction has 3 different kinds of cards. There are item cards, animal cards, and the stronghold card. When you pick out your animal factions, make sure you take that stronghold card and just set it aside right there. Choose which one you'd like to start with and place the other strongholds beneath it and put it in your playing area. Then shuffle together the 3 factions that you chose and deal yourself 8 cards. One of those cards is going to go into your support area. Let's take a quick look at the imaginary playing spaces that we have to work with in this game. First, in the center, you're going to put your strongholds that we talked about. Then to your right is going to be your support area. And to your left is going to be where you place your power cards. In the middle of the table is where the battle is going to take place. Now, support and power are the 2 resources that you need in this game in order to use your cards. In order to play a card, you need to pay its power cost. 1 card equals 1 power. So however many cards I have in my power area, that's how much I can spend to put a card out on the table. The support cards are used to pay for the abilities with that little paw icon. So they really up the power of the card that you're playing sometimes, or give you other options. So in order for me to get the most bang for my buck with my cards, I'm going to need both power and support. And isn't that a good message, you know? That you need both your individual power, but then the support of your animal friends in order to win the day on the battlefield? I think it's a good message. Now that everything is in its place, let's go over how a turn goes. Now there are 2 phases in each turn. There's the main phase and then there's the upkeep phase. During the main phase, you can play a card or attack with an animal that is ready. Let's go over the anatomy of a card really quick. Here is the power that I have to pay to bring this guy out there. And here's his health, and here's how much he can attack for. Not a very strong guy, but certainly a good one to bring out early in the game. Let's say that my opponent, though, countered that with General Greycoat. Now, he costs 5 power to bring out here, so he's going to be more strong. He has a health of 4 and can attack for 6. But the cool thing about this is that they attack at the same time. So Gold Scale Archer is going to get General Greycoat for 1 swipe to General Greycoat. And General Greycoat's just going to take my Archer out of the game. But not to worry, because I can put this guy in my support area so he can still help me a little later. As for this guy, he's going to keep that damage on him for the rest of the game until either he finally gets defeated or, he continues on and keeps fighting the good fight. And now you can do those 2 things multiple times so long as you have the resources and the ability to do it. But there are a couple things that you can do only once per turn. For example, you can place 1 card from your hand into your power area. I should mention that power cards get played upside down, but support cards get played right side up. If you had 2 power, you could also exhaust those to draw an additional card. Although you're using power also to put your animals out on the battlefield, so, that's a resource to use wisely. The last thing that you could do is use your stronghold's ability. Each stronghold has a different kind of perk to it. For example, this one says, I can pay 3 of my support cards in order to draw a card. So let's say that it's my turn and I have put my 1 power out. I'm going to exhaust that to bring an animal out, but I need an animal that only costs 1 power. So I'm going to bring out my Golden Scale Archer. Now this is exhausted and this comes out exhausted too. I can't use him until the next turn. Item cards work similarly. You pay the power cost in order to bring the item card out, and then you resolve its effects. And when you are done doing that, it goes face up in your support area. Remember, support area cards are there to help you unlock that little paw icon. So the way that works is, for instance, say I wanted to bring out this panda right here. Now he has an ability that instead of paying the card's power cost, I can pay 5 support in order to bring him out on the field. So if I had 5 support cards, then instead of just exhausting those, I would discard them out of the game. See, support is different from power in that way, that once it's gone, it's gone. At the end of the main phase, I like to check my cheat sheet to make sure I've done everything. It turns out I have played a card. I didn't attack with an animal because I couldn't yet. And then I played a card to give myself more power. I didn't have the ability to pay 2 power to draw a card yet. And I chose not to use my Stronghold's ability as well. So now I can move on to the upkeep phase. And in the upkeep phase, you're just getting ready for the next round. So anything that's exhausted, you're going to put on back. You're also going to draw another card from your deck. But here's the thing, you get to choose which card in your hand you'd like to place into your support area. So there's a real balance of which cards you're choosing to use as support and power, and which ones you're choosing to keep in play. So those are the 2 phases of my turn. The main phase where I do all my action, the upkeep where I reset. Once I'm done with that, it goes to the next player. So now that we know how a turn works, how do you win the game? An animal can either attack the other animals on the battlefield, or they could just go straight to your stronghold if nothing is stopping them from doing that. So you start to add damage onto your stronghold. And once your first stronghold is damaged to the point of no return, then it gets discarded out of the game and you have your next stronghold that the other side has to go through. Remember, there are 3 strongholds because we had 3 animal factions. There are some things to know about this game because, of course, each card is unique and has different abilities and gives you different reasons for wanting to play them. For example, a card may have something with arrive, which means that is triggered as soon as the animal is played. Or it has something called last words, which means it's triggered when that animal is defeated. There's also a guard card, which means that animal has to be defeated in order for the other player to be able to attack your stronghold. And of course there is surge, which means an animal can immediately attack the other animal as soon as it's played. That's different than arrive, because arrive will specify what you can do when you put that animal in play. And surge is just go ahead, go for the attack. So the game goes on with players attacking each other with their animals and putting cards in their support and going for their strongholds until one player manages to destroy all 3 of the other player's strongholds. And the player that is able to do that will win the game. Or if a player runs out of cards, then their opponent has won the game. And that is how you play Untamed Feral Factions. Like I said, this game is on Kickstarter right now, so if it interests you, then check out the link below for more details, and I'll see you next time. Bye.